Hey up YouTube, bit of an admission to make this week, about this week's videos anyway. I intended on the book review to be short. I've edited the video, put it all together, and I kind of wanted to leave it all in, but it's come out 40 minutes long. So what I've decided to do is record two videos, or two reviews. They're both going to go live Sunday morning at the same time. But you're going to have what I hope is going to be about 5-10 minutes, no longer than that. And then you're going to have the long one, which is 40 minutes long. If it piques your interest, I'm hoping to cover everything, if not more. The 40 minutes long reel is just going to be for the dieharders. So yeah, without further ado, I just want to say one thing. As I'm starting to say, unfortunately, in all my videos, I always said we never wanted to do this on the channel, but we're kind of seeing why people do it. 70% of our views are coming from unsubscribed viewers. I know that not everybody's got an account and not everybody wants to subscribe, but those of you that do, or that do have an account, please do subscribe. It helps out the channel massively. It gives us a massive boost. It's a big morale boost. I mean, churning out videos is not easy. It's a big morale boost to see that what we're doing is being enjoyed. I mean, we never thought we'd hit 50. We're already almost at 80, hopefully getting to 100 within the next week or two. It'd be brilliant. So please, please, please subscribe. Anyway, on with the video. So as I've already discussed, we're looking at Allotment Month by Month 2019 edition. Published by DK Publishing, and it's written by Buckinghamshire. Brilliant book. Let's just get that straight out there. Brilliant book. As an information source, excellent. As a good read, it's fairly decent actually if you're into allotments or into growing. It's not, I mean, don't be put off by the name. It's not just for allotment growers. If you're growing stuff at home, even if you're doing square foot gardening, there's useful information in here for you. So I'm trying to keep this really, really short. So we're not really gonna look at some pages. I'm just gonna flick you through and show you the sort of stuff that's in here. So you've got the main bulk of the book is broken down into your months. So I think this one's June. You've got on each section, you've got a little bit of sort of, and obviously June's quite a large section because it's a very busy one for allotment holders. So just try and quickly find the front page. So you've got a welcoming page to every month with a bit of monologue. If you want to read it, pause it. There you go. Really nice pictures, really nice illustrations. Really gets, to coin a phrase, really gets the juices going. And then as you get into the month, it tells you more about individual vegetables, individual fruits, individual jobs. So let's have a look. What have we got on? So we've got what to sow in June. So, you know, there you go. If you want to know what to sow in June without buying the book, there you go. I really am keeping this brief, but it's so thorough, and I like the fact that once you know your way around the book. So, take for example, in June it says sow beetroot. All right, but it doesn't tell you how to sow beetroot. But if you go to the rear of the book where it all matches up, you've got your crop planner. Now, once again, I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, so I'm trying to be relatively aware of time. Right, okay. I'm not gonna look for beetroot. There's lettuce here, that'll do. So, say you were in the month for sowing lettuces. I sow them all year round, but it depends on your varieties. So you then come to your page that talks about lettuces. And you've got everything you need. You've got from, you know, advice on when to plant. Once again, as I keep saying, take your geographic area into account, where you are in the country. The south plants before the north, in brief. Look at your first and last frost dates. They're available online. Google your area last frost or first frost, depending on where you're looking, and that'll give you a rough estimation as to when your growing season starts, because the majority of stuff, especially the stuff that you plant out, goes out after the last frost. So base it around that. That's generally what I do, and so far it hasn't steered me far wrong. Apologies for the lighting, by the way, but I'm recording this middle of the day, back end of summer. The light's very poor, but it's good for being able to see the book. So it talks about when to plant. It talks about, I'm assuming I'm pointing to, where to grow. And then you've got your sowing and your plantings. You've got staple varieties, stuff that's tried and tested and true. What else does it talk about? I think it talks about pests, which leads me on to the next bit. So a pest of lettuce, as a pest of pretty much everything, is aphids. So if you keep going back in the book, back to towards the back, you start getting towards your pest problems. So these are your most common, the ones that you're going to see the most of. All right. So it talks about them. Talks about how to spot them. And then once again, you turn the page, and there you go. It's A to Z. I'm not going to go through every page, but you've got A to Z on parasites. What they look like, how to treat them, what damage they do, why, a little bit about why they're a nuisance, things like that. So, the book flows as you would expect. And like I said, illustrations wise, ideas wise, and guide wise, it really is worth a purchase. I believe it's on sale on Amazon at the moment for under a tenner. The sticker price is actually £18, and I'll try and hold that ISBN or that barcode in focus, because if you scan that barcode with your Amazon app, it'll take you to the book. I'm not going to put links below. Whilst they have worked in the past, Amazon have said that we don't have enough subs to be able to have an affiliate link, so you're not getting a link below. You will if you subscribe eventually, but right now, no link below. Some of the other things that I really liked about this book, the pages really substantial. They're printed on, and this sounds really silly, but they're printed on really substantial stock. The spine of the book is not just glued; it's corded and glued. It's a hardback by standard, so it's made to take a beating. I wouldn't mind betting you could have this sat in a shed, and aside from my seat in it, it'd probably be quite happy there. I keep it on my coffee table because it's not a book. The other books I've bought in the past, you sort of start at page 1, you have to sort of read through, and it talks in general terms. It doesn't sort of flow, doesn't give you a guide. It's just sort of. And the other thing about the other books is they're very old world. You try and find a big book, a big label book that talks about growing potatoes in containers. They are out there. I'm not going to say they're not out there, but it is a relatively recent revelation. And it's something that I'm starting to do. A book about no dig. Yes, Charles Dowding has been publishing those books for a while now, and there is some really old literature, but it's not comprehensive. This is a comprehensive book. It does talk about no dig, but not in any great depth. And the other thing I like about this, and I'm going to look into them, and I will follow this up, is they've got at least 2 other books in a bit of a series: Incredible Edibles and Pests and Diseases. I think all 3 of those, having not read the other 2, but judging on this one, I think all 3 of those would make an excellent companion to any new and veteran allotment gardener or home gardener. They're excellent for reference. You know, it's not a case of, like I said, like in the other books where you've got chapters. Yes, you have got chapters, but if if you're looking for information on growing squashes, just because that's the page I've set to and I'm trying to keep time down, you just come to the back and you look at your pumpkins and your winter squashes, your courgettes and your summer squashes, your marrows, and then there's ideas like here, chilies. Something that I've just started enjoying this year. Well, here's some ideas on some chilies that you may not have heard of. Not all chilies are created equal. Not only are there different heats, there are different flavours, different colours, different textures. It's a whole world out there, and as I've said many times, I grow what I'm not prepared to pay to buy. And if you join certainly Conversation Shed over on Facebook, and messages and hit us up in there, or once again back on Facebook, there's seed swap sites, there's all sorts out there. So I think this book, it is not preachy, it is an excellent reference guide, and it's something that I will certainly come and go from. It's not something I'm going to follow like a Bible, but I certainly think it's worth a purchase and a read. It's an excellent information source. But as with gardening and all information sources, there are things that are lacking. So we're going to quickly talk about some of the cons. Not necessarily of this book. I think most of these cons affect probably most books out there, if not all. And the fact that it's impossible for a piece of literature to take into account every variation, every local variation. So your allotment, it does talk about them. Your allotment might be in a microclimate, you might be surrounded by houses, you might be a sun trap, you might be exposed, you might be open to the winds. All those things can affect when you plant and how you plant and the techniques that you have to use. Your soil might be loamy, it might be peaty, it might be heavy clay, sandy, water retentive. These things cannot be covered in a book. And the one thing I will say on that is where YouTube and where sort of us at the shed, there's other YouTube channels out there. There's Digging for Dinner, there's Charles Dowding, there's Sean James Cameron, Dean's Allotment Diary. Dean's Lost the Plot. They all cover different topics. Go watch their videos and please subscribe to their channels. They're great content providers. They ask nothing in return, as neither do we. Go check out their channels. Take the bits of information that you need from here, there and everywhere and apply it to your own techniques. There is no set in stone rule apart from if you don't plant it, it ain't gonna grow. There's so many variations on how to make compost, how people overwinter their soil, how people prepare their beds. There's no dig, there's no weed, there's spraying, no spraying, there's organic, non-organic. Find what works for you and use books like this, as good as it is, as a reference guide. So on that note, I'm going to say see you later and go congratulate myself because I've managed to do this in one take. So I'll see you later.